Why is the private wealth space relevant to a lot of IFAs here? The way I have understood the private wealth space, private wealth has always led change and development in the financial intermediary profession. I remember from my early days as part of a very fledgling private wealth business in India, that was about 20 years ago, most of the new concepts that are now relevant in the intermediation space actually found their way in from the private wealth space, whether it is the introduction of strategic and tactical asset allocation models, whether it is direct equity advisory outside of brokerage firms, estate planning, active involvement in providing innovative business financing solutions, introduction of structured products, international investing, property advisory, adoption of fee-based RIA models, and so on. All of these came in first in India's private wealth space and then found its way into the HNI and mass affluent models in different formats. Today, the private wealth space is seeing many more and exciting new paradigms than it has ever before. Understanding what's happening in the private wealth space today will give every IFA who has HNI and mass affluent clients a peek into what may happen in terms of their own propositions in the coming years. To help us understand these new dynamics, we are privileged to have a very experienced and distinguished panel today. May I invite to the dais Soumya Rajan, MD of Waterfield Advisors. Soumya is, please come. You can take anyone other than this. Anyway. So Soumya is leading an exciting new movement in the private wealth business in India by linking remuneration not to assets. So it's a fee-based model, but it's not fees on assets. It's fees on effort and expertise, pretty much like how legal profession charges by the hour or by, it's not necessarily by the hour, but it's essentially on the basis of the complexity of the portfolio, the effort involved and the expertise required to be put into the portfolio. Waterfield has introduced a fee-only model that disassociates from AUM-based fees and looks at expertise and expertise-related fees. To join Soumya, may I please invite Ashish Gumasta, CEO of Julius Baer India. Thank you very much, Ashish. So I have a question for you all, please. And I have a question for you all. Please sit down. And I know Ashish told me his compliance does not allow him to say this, but my compliance doesn't allow me to say that, but I won't get into trouble. So, okay, all of us here are familiar with personally managing AUM in at least 3 digits, right? 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore. Many of us manage that amount personally. I'm not talking about at a firm level. There are in this country a handful of people who personally manage assets in 4 digits. There's only one person I know in this industry who has been managing until he became the CEO of his firm a few days ago, who has been managing and has grown a personal book that runs well into 5 digits. Right, well into 5 digits. Right. So, and I'm not allowed to discuss the figure, and in all honesty, he didn't tell me the figure. So, I don't know. Okay, to join Ashish and Soumya, we have Himanshu Kohli, founder of Client Associates. Thank you very much, Himanshu. Himanshu is a person, he's been with us in previous editions of this conference. He's a person who has seen and weathered all the capital and the product related disruptions that the private wealth space has seen over the last 15 years, and to the credit of Client Associates, has maintained a very competitive proposition which still remains exactly the same at its core. So the art of navigating change and the wisdom of knowing what to change and what not to is perhaps what we can imbibe from Himanshu. Joining these 3 distinguished panelists, we have Kaushik Deva, founder of Creder Wealth. Thank you very much, Kaushik. Kaushik carries rich perspectives across senior roles at BNP Paribas Private Banking and was a core member at IFL Wealth before he moved out from IFL Wealth and set up a hugely successful private wealth firm. And hopefully I'm allowed to talk about the AUM. You don't have any size restrictions. When I last saw it was around 3,000 odd crores. No? More, not yet. Okay, it'll become 3,000 crores. Okay. Okay. To help us connect the dots from the insights from our esteemed private bankers and to give us that peak that all of us are looking at in the future about what the mass affluent and the HNI propositions might look like in future, which is of tremendous relevance to us, we have a very distinguished panelist who has straddled all these spaces and a lot more. May I please welcome Rajneesh Nirula, CEO of Canara Robeco AMC, please. Hi.